Okay, we're here for our first tomato tour, and you're going to see a lot of weeds and tomatoes as well. But I wanted to give a shout out to Doug J, or Jeremiah, however you want to refer to him. He's the one that donated this camera, so we're able to view the tomatoes in 4K today. That's awesome. Anyhow, we're going to take a tour of the tomatoes that we have here in the garden, and these first two here are what is known as Marion. They're kind of an old school brand, and I will be doing some harvesting after this. But there's a nice ripe one right there, or at least it's ready to pick. I don't want any pests to get to it. These next two plants that we're looking at are what's known as Big Boy, and it looks like we've got a few on there we're going to be able to enjoy. Then we have our striped German, and one of these plants is not doing quite as well as the other. Both of them are decent. They're amongst some of the first ones, and as you can see, striped German can put on some pretty big tomatoes. I'm looking forward to their kind of a yellowish tomato, yellowish maybe with a little bit of red. These are the black Krim. We tried to shoot a taste test of a black Krim. I tried them for the first time the other day. They tasted really good to me. My wife definitely wants to grow them next year, and she tried one and she really enjoyed it. Now these two, we've got two ripe ones on, and so I'm looking forward to trying these. These are the Big Beef, and they're supposed to get pretty decent size as well. And I'm looking forward to making a tomato sandwich out of those. I really need to get these next two. I need to get the trellis extended so that I can well, get a little bit of support for them. These two are Heatwave. They've done really well, especially the ones that I've got one at home that is doing really well and putting on a lot of tomatoes, and it's actually considerably larger. The ones that I've got in the containers at home, they got planted earlier and a lot of rich nutrition. I'm having to keep feed them though. We're going to go on, and as we're going, you can see the crowders are getting really big. Won't be long before we have some. Now these are the special treatment ones that received the Russell Special, and it looks like they're putting on some tomatoes. And wow, look at those. These are going to put on a lot of, let's take a look. Looks like a little bit of a pest damage here. But as you can see, they've been treated with 7 dust. And let's get rid of them. In fact, I think Russell pointed out where a tomato hornworm had gotten a hold of one of them and really ravaged its leaves. Those are some nice sized tomatoes. Now these are Better Boy. All 10 of these with the cages like this are Better Boys, and I guess I wasn't familiar with them as I would have liked to have been, but it looks like those tomatoes are pretty decent size. Some of them are, and they're all starting to put on tomatoes. And wow, look at all those. I know that the reason why Russell chose Better Boys is because, the world record at one time was held by a fella that did Better Boys. And he grew like over 1,200 pounds, I think it was, with 4 tomato plants. He read a book about how to grow world record tomatoes, and that inspired him. And let's see, but these are obviously producing a lot of tomatoes. And you may notice he put a collar around the bottom or the base, in order to protect them from pests. And Russell mentioned that he's going to go through. These are getting pretty much to the top of the cage, so Russell's going to be putting an additional cage on top of this one. I can't wait to see how this turns out. For every tomato plant in there, he put a whole bag of Miracle Grow soil down there. So lots of nutrition. It's in the ground, so it's not going to be leaching out like it does on container plants. It shouldn't have any problem with blossom end rot. We've had a few issues with that on some of the container plants. We're passing by, might as well mention the peppers. They're looking good. We pulled a lot of peppers off of there. Now these, some of them I've lost the tag. You may notice that we put some something around the base that's actually alfalfa pellets. They tend to feed the tomato plants. And some of them I've lost the tag, others I have not. This particular one I haven't lost, and this happens to be a Cherokee Purple. And you might see that the tomatoes are looking really nice. No, I have not trellised these, and I'm not sure if I'm going to. I'm thinking about letting them just, see how they work on the ground. I know it won't be as productive, and we'll lose some fruit. Obviously, you can tell from this tomato plant, this is obviously a yellow pear. We have several yellow pears, but look at all these flowers in here. As we move down, in fact, I started this, and obviously it's a yellow pear as well. You can see the fruit on it. And here's another one. Yeah, some of the leaves are getting old. And if I had to guess, I think this one might be a, well, let's see. It tells us right there. This is Marion. At least that's what it says. But that doesn't look like a Marion tomato to me. If I had to guess, I'd say that's probably maybe a Berkeley Tie Dye. This one's got, a few fruits forming on it. I wish I could tell you what the variety is, or the cultivar, but I just don't know. I'll probably have to spend a little bit more time making better tags for these next year, and making sure that we get, and yes, it is intercropped over here. Obviously you can see the black eye or pink eye purple holes, and we've also got, every now and again, we've got some marigolds. It's supposed to help with root nematodes. Man, look at those. That's pretty. Those Cherokee Purples. All right, let's move on down to the next grouping of tomato plants. These right here, I can't find the tag, but I'm certain that these first three down here are called Goliaths. And they've got some pretty good sized tomatoes on them. There's one in there that we're gonna harvest here in just a little bit. And they seem to be very prolific out here. I think, even though these were from starts I just happened to pick up one day, and I'm thinking that next year I will be getting some more Goliath. If I can find some seed, I will. This one has got some really nice fruits on it as well. Some vegetables, some tomatoes. Man, I'm looking forward to some of the tomato sandwiches we're gonna have this year. On the other side, we've got peppers, and yeah, I probably need to, based on what I'm seeing here, I'm gonna have to do some picking on these. This particular one is supposed to be, well, let's see. This is supposed to be Cherokee Purple, I believe. And it's got some beautiful fruits on it as well. Oh, look at the size of those. Man, those are going to be some good eating. And that's supposed to be Cherokee Purple as well. You can tell by that tag down there. And it's entirely possible I've messed some of these up, but some of these really stand out. Those right there, obviously, are your yellow pear. I say that because that's the only type of smaller tomato we have out here. And I like to go through and tap these, try to help with pollination. And of course, with these, I'm not sure that it really needs it. I've got a couple yellow pears right there that I'm gonna have to harvest here in just a few minutes. This plant, ooh, that looks like it's maybe one of those mega blooms. It's just two though. Still, some pretty tomatoes. And, you know, I don't know what type this is. Look at these. Look at that huge cluster. They're obviously some type of a beefsteak, but I didn't see the tag on these either. Some more yellow pears. Plant seems to be doing okay. And yeah, I need to get out here and either do some pruning or pull up these. You'll see that I've put extra strings up here to do that. I just got to get the time to come out here and actually do it. I need to have more than 24 hours in a day. Either that or less time at my paying job. Now, those obviously are yellow pear tomatoes as well. We may have went a little overboard with the yellow pear tomatoes, but I got a little anxious this spring, a little spring fever. And we only had 3 types of seeds this spring, and I planted too many of every one of them. Just wish more of the Cherokee Purple had made it. Let's see, what is this one? Well, let's see. This is yellow pear as well. I just wasn't seeing any fruit on this one yet. Plenty of blooms though. So they will be coming on soon. These are fairly recent, and they'll be, putting some more in there. This particular one is Rainbow Heirloom, so we will keep an eye on that one. And that's assuming that I got the right stake with it, the right name tag. I know that should have plenty or more of the Rainbow Heirlooms, the Berkeley Tie Dye Pinks. One of these out here, at least one is a Berkeley Tie Dye Pink. We probably have more. But a lot of these have been more recently planted just because that's when I had the time to do it, obviously. And that is the rest of the story. That is all the tomatoes that we have out here. Well, that's not totally true. I have a couple over this way that I forgot about. I know one of these is a Sweet Million, and it probably, just because of the location, it may be having some issues. That one right there is a Sweet Million. And I got one right there as well, but it looks like that's having some issue. It's a little crowded by the pink eye purple hulls. Still, it's got a tomato on it. Let's see, what kind is that? Let's see, that's an early girl. And I've probably chose the wrong location to put that on. The other early girl I've got is doing really well. It's got some fruits on this Sweet Million. I'll make it a point to tap these. Try to make sure there's better pollination with them. And thus concludes our tour of tomatoes and the varieties that we have. Now I'll take a couple of minutes after I sign off of here. There's a few of them that I need to get picked. and I'll come back and show you some more stuff another day, another time. If you enjoy looking at tomatoes, enjoy hearing different varieties and what have you, don't forget to subscribe. If you feel like sharing it, that helps the algorithm. It kind of peaks the algorithm so that it's more likely for other people to share. If you want to leave a comment, that would be great. I'm curious to see what y'all are thinking. What should my priorities be? Feel free to discuss whatever you like. Just keep it clean. We're a family friendly channel, and if you subscribe, you might want to hit the bell so you can get notified every time I upload a video. And I guess that's about it. Thank y'all for viewing, and go out there and grow some. Prepare for whatever the future holds. Thanks. Bye.